Again, all the credit deserves to go to Missouri for playing an excellent game and really forcing some plays. We talk about the mistakes we feel we made, but you give Missouri a hand in forcing turnovers. A big issue in that game for us. You go on the road in a game like that, another undefeated team, and you have 3 opportunities inside the 15-yard line and come away with 0 points, 1 interception, 1 fumble, and 1 missed field goal. And then you open the game with the kickoff return for a touchdown. You really have jeopardized your opportunity to have a chance to win. But they have a hand in that. We feel we have somewhat of a hand in it too, being able to protect the football. Those kind of things are an issue, and then you're able to fight your way back to a degree, and then just both sides of the ball an issue. There's no denying it. Through this year, we've had trouble in the fourth quarter, and again in this game was our worst one. Let's see, offensively we go 3 and out, interception, and we have the short field for a touchdown and 3 and out. But we have the ball for less than 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. So no production offensively, and defensively we give up around 98 yards rushing in the fourth quarter in 16 points, where 3 quarters prior to that, defense has given up 13 points. So schemes didn't change. They were running the same offense. We were still trying to mix up our defense. They executed again. Give Missouri the credit. They made the plays in the fourth quarter in their execution as a team and how they played, and we did not. And so in the end, they earned a good victory. And for us, those are issues people want to ask about the fourth quarter. We'll try and change up some of our practice and in the way some of the good stuff that we do, try and emphasize it more at the end of practice, just for that kind of emphasis of at the end of the game, playing better, playing at our best, those kind of things. And in the end, you still have to be able to go out, in the fourth quarter and do it. But we'll try and make some adjustments in practice just to emphasize it more. Let's see, some guys that played well offensively. Gabe Eichert up front had a nice game. Trey Millard, again at fullback, was outstanding. Ryan Broyles, though he was gimped up with both ankles, really missed only practiced 1 day last week. Had another excellent game, over 100 yards. Roy Finch came in and really, added a lot, and had some really good runs. Defensively, Jeremy Beal up front again had a good game. Quentin Carter was really solid in the secondary. And then, I don't know, outside of that, the rest of the defensively was just okay. Anyway, it brings us to Colorado here back at home, and a team, though they're 3-4, it's very obvious as you watch them play is they're a much better football team than that. The last 2 losses they've had were very tight, close games against Texas Tech and Baylor before that, and a team that is, Cody Hawkins at quarterback is a guy that as a freshman, 3-4 years ago, beat us. So we're very aware of what he's capable of, how he plays. And the team on offense is good balance, is good running backs, good schemes, defensively very aggressive in how they play. They have always played well. When you look back defensively how they're playing, and they are again this year. So a solid team and a team that we know we have to make some improvements. We've got to be able to take care of the football, and play like we have coming before this past game, and not making the mistakes that really put us in a hole and not give us much of a chance to win. So hopefully we can make some improvement here this week.
How frustrating for you in the last 3 years watching your kicking problems? Is it a priority now to get a scholarship kicker over?
Well, Al, we've got 4 scholarship kickers.
Are they all on scholarship?
Well, yes, we've got 3 on scholarship, a punter on scholarship, and 1 promised. That's coming. That's promised for mid-year. So we have invested in kickers more so than anybody. So it is frustrating. We've evaluated, we've offered, we continue to. It's really frustrating when you look at what our commitment's been, and you look around the country and how many guys that are not on scholarship do so well. So Again, I'm not going to sit here. I never find it very attractive to sit here and get on young people. They're trying hard. They're working. They put in the time at practice, and we'll just keep working with them. But it has been frustrating.
Who's the third kicker? Is it Bryce Easley?
Bryce Easley and Michael Honeycutt
Honeycutt's also on scholarship.
promised for this
Okay.
at the end of this semester.
Well, Missouri had a lot of success over the middle. How much is that scheme, execution, you guys' alignment?
I think it's a little of all of it. We got caught scheme-wise where they went downfield more so than they had in the past, so a little bit of it's scheme. We could have executed on a couple of occasions better by carrying people and staying in the window longer. Some of it's, the pass rush not getting to them, giving them too much time to find some guys in seams. So it's a little of both, and they did a nice job of finding those holes.
You, as a defensive staff, have done a great job catching up with the spread, but the advent of the zone read, is that now a totally different ballgame now?
Well, the zone read's been here. I
I
mean,
know, but with the spread, the fact they operate out of it.
well, but again, the zone read has been part of the spread, and so on some occasions we've played it well, on other occasions we haven't, and so it's just more consistency. But it isn't. I don't see that it's anything new. We had a couple of busted alignments, a couple of bad calls that we handicapped ourselves with the call. So a little bit of it, is couple of combinations hurt us, and and they took advantage of it and how they executed.
Did your defensive line take a step back? I mean, they play well against Iowa State, but you mentioned no pressure.
Well, they didn't play their best, or maybe as well as we have in the past. But again, Missouri blocked us and did a good job with protection, and so it wasn't a very good game, for our defensive guys up front.
With Troy talking, how much you miss Gerald McCoy this year?
Oh, how can you not? You're talking about the third pick in the draft, so there's no denying. Just like you miss Ndamukong Suh, just like you miss Sam Bradford, those guys are special, and you don't just replace them, with another guy that's going to go third in the draft. Those guys are, they don't come around that often, and they're pretty special when you have them.
With the late start and the early deadlines, I didn't get a chance to ask you after the game about the two-point conversion. Your kind of thought process there.
Yeah, I just felt at the time you have to have it. If you miss it late or you miss it then, either way you're not going to win. And I felt maybe you get them not quite on point, where they still have a little bit of a comfort zone. They still have as opposed to the end of the game where they know they got to have it, that kind of thing. And so in the end, I just felt go for it now and have the opportunity, to get it within 7.
Where you don't look back on it, you don't,
Yeah.
wish you'd done something different, or you just
You can, but again, the bottom line is the way you doubt it is if you feel the outcome would have been different later. In the end, we had the play drawn up. It was the play we were going to call, whether later or then. And and when it doesn't work, you shouldn't have done it.
You already decided you were going to go for it.
We had talked about it once we had the kick down there, on the staff, and because you're already thinking what you want to do.
Do you see the benefit, though, Bob, of being within one possession?
Yeah.
And that way, you might not have to onside kick, everything else, all other decisions are different.
Yeah,
It's
well,
one
I
possession.
get that, but in the end, if you don't make it, you're still not going to win, and you're still going to have to do something different. The other side is time-wise, if you wait to the end of the game and you do it and you get the same result, you have no chance to do anything different. So I get it. In the end, it's not what the book says, but you're in a bad situation at that point. And the ball hit Kenny right in the shoulder, and he's got great hands, and then Ryan's within an inch of the deflection, and just didn't work out.
Jimmy had really badly missed his field goal, but I think he made a PAT after that. Was that a concern for you also at that point in the game, that maybe he might not?
I'm very aware of our consistency and inconsistency kicking the ball, so it's in my mind definitely, and will be the rest of the year.
Who kicks this week?
We'll see how practice goes here through the week. It's not that easy. You wish, when you're out at practice and you don't see consistency either with some other guys, it's not that easy to change.
Bob, I asked you this in jest earlier in the year, but I guess it's a lot more serious now. Any chance you'll just go all Mike Leach? Fourth and 7 from the 25 or from the 15, say, we're not kicking, we're going for it.
We're very aware going into games. I talk to Kevin all the time, Coach Wilson, that make sure we have, our fourth down calls because, and Kevin, and he knows once we start approaching the red zone, to be ready for that we're in 4 down territory, definitely in a good number of instances.
Is Honeycutt closer to being in this competition, maybe? More of a
He hasn't been in practice, so.
How about easily?
Hasn't been in practice. In fact, he would be behind Honeycutt in consistency and what I see in practice.